Think I could do like an OnlyFans where I'm just eating toast? No, I didn't think so. Damn it. Think I could do an OnlyFans where I'm just drinking coffee? No. No, I probably couldn't. Well, I mean, I could, but probably wouldn't be, um, you know, the thing that unlocks that lucrative find. That doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying. All three of you. Well, welcome to the three of you. We've got our weekend coffee mug. Today, we have the Louvre. That's cool. And if I forget, it says so right in here. I don't want to lean this too far forward because, well, then we spill coffee all over my leg. That might be amusing for you and for most people, but I am not most people. I'm just me. We're down to two people. Did I lose you at the OnlyFans thing, or was it the weekend? Oh, we're down to one person watching. I'm doing great. I mean, it's 9:18 on a Saturday morning. I mean, this is breakfast with Sully. Two people. All right. I'm feeling very pensive this morning. And when I woke up and I woke up at 6:40 or so because Liz Lemon, the cat, was making the countdown to throwing up somewhere sounds. We all love this. That is a call to action in the house. Whenever you hear those things, those sounds, as it were. Thankfully, she did me a solid, and it went on the tile, not on the carpet. So I take that as she was doing me a solid with her solids, I guess you could say. So that's cool. But after, I kind of lay in bed for a while. I got up and maybe because it's cloudy outside, I have things that I need to do today. I really don't want to do them. Hi, Jose. How are you? How's your Saturday going? I hope you're having a nice day. Yeah, I don't know if it's the weather or what, but I am feeling very pensive. Fun word for today. Oh, Jose's coming in with a question. Can I make a supernova base? I'm sure we could. It would. The things that I am unsure about is, a few things. One, balance. Because, when I've made bases in the past, balance is a concern for me with any instrument that I make. And, with a bass, you can kind of, shift everything kind of into the body. Kind of move on a lot of bases, like the bridges are like, back here. On a supernova, I don't have one here, but, there's this whole chunk taken out. So there's only so much real estate that I can bring the thing back. I think a short scale bass off the top of my head might be the way to go, but I also understand that most people prefer a 34 scale. So with that in mind, yeah, we could do it. It would take some design work. I'd probably need to make the body a little bit bigger, or maybe not. As long as there's like the understanding of like this thing's probably going to go, which isn't really the place I would like to start with a design, knowing that it's probably going to be a little divey. Of course, there are things that you can do with strap button placement to mitigate some of that. You can maybe use a heavier body blank, to try and mitigate some of that. And so, yeah, we could. It would require a fair amount of R&D, research and design, for those of you playing along at home, all four of you. Which, that's kind of has to get built into the cost of the thing. But I'd be open to it. See, now, this is one of the things I like about Jose. Dive is fine. Wait a minute. You see where dive is fine, but sorry. So as I came in here and was thinking about what have I got going on today. What do I have going on today? Greetings to Wisconsin. So I have a class starting on Monday. We've got a couple people coming from out of town to build a guitar with their pal Sully. And there's prep that I have to do for that sort of thing. Got a fair amount of it done yesterday, but I got to make some templates. So I got to make some templates, and yeah, it doesn't really seem like that much, but I don't really want to go anywhere. I could do these things tomorrow, but I don't know. It's probably best to do them today. I'm also do you kind of wake up and you're in the mood to rearrange the house? No, that's just me. I think maybe I get that from my mom. That was something this sounds like a manic kind of behavior, and I'm not saying that my mom's manic, but I just have a lot, I have a lot of memories of my mom moving stuff around the house, rearranging furniture and stuff like that, and kind of changing things up and things of that nature. I know from a shop standpoint, anytime I would get to go visit with Grover, the shop would always be moved around. One of the best pieces of advice I can give to people that want to build guitars for a living. Number one, first thing, design instruments that fit in cases that are readily available. Avoid custom cases at all costs, because they involve all costs. Second thing I would advise is don't build 2 to 3 guitars to start a business, or even 1 guitar to start a business, or don't start a project and then midway through it start a business. 3, have stuff on wheels. Ooh, how does that sound? That might be in a different key. Sex on Wheels, My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult. Anyone? Great song. I wonder if that was in E flat. Um, yeah. I mean, that's always good advice for anybody. Um, and that can go many different ways. Steve-O, afternoon. Where are you, Steve-O? Jeff, good morning to you. My man, Big P. He knows. For those of you that like My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, and like I don't celebrate their catalog, but there are some songs on there that I really, really, really love. Like Days of Swine and Roses, Daisy Chain for Satan, Sex on Wheels, maybe just the hits of My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult. If the idea of like Andy, I turned Andy onto this band, which I was surprised that he wasn't very well aware from. I think that Andy just kind of knows everything. There's this group, musical outfit from the UK called Sheep on Drugs, and like mid-late 90s, they had their first album, which was called Greatest Hits. And you gotta love a band whose first album is called Greatest Hits. And I love them. And it was when Sully was in his like techno phase. I do love techno. And so I was listening to them a lot. So seek out Sheep on Drugs album, Greatest Hits. You might just have to get it on YouTube or something, because I imagine it's long out of print. But when I turned Andy onto them, and he's like, they kind of remind me of like an English version of Thrill Kill Cult. So if you like My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, and why wouldn't you? That Sheep on Drugs Greatest Hits is worth seeking out. A couple songs that I would recommend: 15 Minutes of Fame, Motorbike is good. Well, that whole record is great. Yeah. So check them out. See if you can find them. If not, like, I don't know, I have the CD somewhere. I don't know, like I can just send you the file. It's out of print, I'm sure. Which reminds me of when I used to work at this record store in like '94, when Sunday mornings we kind of open the store, probably hungover, and we would have out of print Sundays just to mess with people. And it's a terrible thing to do, but you have to find things. You have to find your joy. You have to find your joy wherever you can. And in this case, it was kind of turning people on to things. And this is like a total like guy in his 20s kind of dick move, but like, I'm going to turn you on to stuff that you can't get because it's out of print. So it was a lot of like import CD singles, remixes of stuff. And people would be like, yeah, like, this is good, right? What is this? Oh, it's do you have it? No, it's out of print. Do you know where I can get it? No, sorry. Another thing that was fun, we were open Saturdays like till like 10 o'clock at night, and maybe even 11. I don't remember. We were open late, and there were always, people that would kind of be coming in late, kind of stragglers, just killing time, not really buying anything. So when we would want to start kind of like motivating the people to go so we can kind of close, we would play polka music. There's nothing wrong with polka music. Polka music is fun as hell. But I don't think the average person hanging out in a record store really wants to get some polka going. At least they didn't seem to. That was a fun job. I was at Sound Warehouse, which was absorbed by Blockbuster Music. Sound Warehouse in Schaumburg, store 98113, shout out. Woo! And yeah, I loved that job. It was fun. Okay, Steve-O is in Spain. Whew. All right. Well, hope everything's okay. Adam DeWitt says, hello from the Maritimes. Now, I don't know what the Maritimes are, but hello to Adam and the Maritimes. Good morning to you. TKK is fun. Yes. Okay, we got a good crowd here. It is classic, greatest hits. Steve is all good. We're glad for that. The cover of Waiting for My Man. I haven't heard that. I don't have the whole catalog. I've got a few. Yeah, now I think about it, I do have a couple other records. I have a whole bunch of CDs. Which is CDs not. And like, what am I gonna do with them? I probably should get, well, I mean, I don't need to do anything with them right now, but like when I was saying earlier, I have like a lot of memories of my mom like rearranging the house a lot, and like I used to kind of do that. I would rearrange my bedroom, and as much as I possibly could, and I'm feeling like I really want to do that in here, but I don't really know what. But then I look around and I've got all these fucking guitars, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I mean, I don't have to do anything with them. But I am kind of like, maybe it's a winter thing, maybe, or preparing for like the end of the year. I don't know, but I do feel like getting rid of damn near everything. And I don't mean just guitar. I mean like everything, just like everything. I've done this a few times. Like I'm looking at a little bookcase here that I had like really thinned out a few years ago, and like magazines, like guitar magazines. I got like a ton of them. Well, I had a ton of them, and I just started kind of purging them. Or I remember I sent a bunch from like the 80s and 90s to my honorary nephew Gunnar. He's not my nephew, but he's an amazing guitar player. He's nice enough to play my guitars, and I met him on Hollywood Boulevard when Mrs. Sully and I were on vacation in California one year. And we were just walking down the street, and little Gunnar, he's like, "Are you Sully from?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh my God." And he was there. He went to MI, or when I lived there, we called it GIT. And it was not cool to go to GIT when I was there, which is fine. I remember a lot of the ads looking for guitar players would be like, "No GIT wankers." Anyway, so we took a photo, and it's hilarious because it totally looks like Parents' Day. Because he's a young little fellow, and we both had long hair, and it totally looks like I dropped my kid off for school. Oh my God, where was I going with that? Oh, so I would send him. I sent him a bunch of like my Guitar for the Practicing Musician magazines from like the 80s and 90s. I still kept like all of my Randy Rhoads related ones. But I gotta tell you, I'm even thinking of moving on from those, which is kind of like I've had them for some of these things for shit, I don't know, 35 plus years. What am I gonna do with them? Yeah. Jeff, kind of off topic. Did you ever? Violent New Breed is a great record. Loved that record. That hit me at the right time. Love Violent New Breed. Speaking of CDs, I loaned that CD to somebody and I never got it back. And talk about things that are out of print. Really good record. Really, really, really good record. That was like, I was in my like industrial techno, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds gothy phase, which I noticed that when metal kind of changed in the late 90s, like I didn't really like it, so I kind of went elsewhere. But anyway, yeah, Shotgun Messiah is that Violent New Breed record is fantastico. And yeah, and when I lived in Hollywood, I used to often see Tim Skold at the Ralph's on Sunset, also known as Rock and Roll Ralph's. I imagine it still is. Ken, good morning to you in Colorado. Good morning to you, Sean. We refer to the four provinces on the east coast of Canada as the Maritimes. Well, that's nice. Thank you. Howdy. G morning to you. Paul Gilbert went to GIT. Yes, he did. Morning! Exclamation point. Same. Saw them on that tour in a tiny venue. Oh, nice. That's cool. I have some like recordings of songs that I wrote during that time that were kind of very influenced by that stuff. Some maybe not many know this, but I was a very young parent. 20. It's young. It's not. It's definitely not that. It's more like that. Don't do it. But by the time I was 22, I was, I was divorced with sole custody of my son, and he was 1.5 at that time, and so I didn't have much going on socially. But what I would do is, like, after I would get him to bed, which was never easy. Sometimes I would have friends over, or I would write on my kitchen table, and I had a couple of 4-track machines. I just had one at the time, and some guitar processing kind of thing, and I used to just record, and a lot of it was very kind of industrially kind of trying to be, angsty 20s stuff. Granted, my life was exploded at that time, and so I was doing my best to pick up pieces without making things worse as best as I could. So I used to do that, and it was very, very, very industrially. But man, yeah, I was thinking about that Violent New Breed album, like maybe last week. I should try and find that. Interested in the bass build? More to follow. Sounds good. If you would like to, Jose, there's on the website, sullyguitars.com. If you go in the customs navigate directory, the navigation, there is a tab that says basses, and you can submit like a custom quote request, and there's there's a notes section where you can kind of put what you would like. Aloha. Yeah, so I'm in this mood to just get rid of stuff, but also one thing that I really appreciate this particular guitar. This is a really good guitar. I'm not. It's kind of like if the body shape isn't like one of like the core Sully models, I don't really care about it. To a certain extent, like if somebody orders something, of course I'm going to do my best. But like I've often said that if I had to like get rid of a bunch of models, it would be very easy to do. One thing that I'm very, very happy about is the last 92s that I will ever fucking make are just about ready for paint. So I am very glad to see that end. But yeah, like, so, like, 622s. I mean, have I done anything really different? I mean, the heel is very comfortable. This is when they were still me in a microplane, just going at it. But I really, this is a really good guitar. There's, when you take pictures, it's all you. Your pictures of yourself, photos. Maybe some pictures you look better in. Same kind of thing with I think guitars. There are some that are like, man, they're all good. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is what we do. But some of them are just like, hot damn, that's a good one. This is a good one. And what's funny is that, and I know that I've shared this, when I was 16, I had a parts Strat made for myself. And it's, white. Actually had 3 singles. It had a bunch of different pickup iterations during its life. It's in the closet. I still have it, but it looks like a very traditional Strat, except for the fact that the neck is thin. And what I was very surprised by on some level is when this guitar was done. And like, this was like an extra, like the neck was an extra. It was sitting in the closet for months. And I'm like, let's just, this thing feels all right. Let's do something with this. Maybe we can sell it. And I made it available for a little bit. Nobody bought it, and I'm like, screw it, I'll keep it, because it reminded me of my white birthday Strat. I can show you. Oh, hang on a second. We got a quick follow-up question. Jose, no Kahlers. I hope it's not a deal breaker. I will get to this in just a moment. But I'll show you my birthday Strat. It's over here. Ooh, it's dark in here. This is a bag of cassettes. This is a Run 1 Conspiracy Series 71 Starling. This is number 1 of the first run. I kept it just because it was number 1. Okay, here we go. This is my 16th birthday Strat. There are so many stickers all over this. This is from a movie poster that I forget, but on the inside of the case, so I taped this, it says, "A Cinderella Story with Big Hair." Let's see, what was this? It's a quote from Napoleon in here. It was from a calendar my mom got me called Life 101. I must have been, I don't know, in my teens. This was for July 3rd and 4th. The quote of the day was, "Victory belongs to those most persevering." Now it's from Napoleon. I could be Napoleon. Still have to bum rides off people. What do we have in here? We have some screws from Ace Hardware. I think these are tuner button screws. They are. Okay, so I've had this since I was 16. And holy crap, yeah, that neck is the same. So this is my 16th birthday Strat. I ordered it from Park Avenue Music. I put that logo on, I don't know, about 10 years ago. And so yeah, it was, it's a parts Strat. I have my limousine sticker. Yeah. A Lady Death sticker. It's got 5 springs on it. I never had the bar. I've never had the trem. And so, when this guitar was done, I'm like, oh, well, this is like my version of this guitar. This is lighter, has a nicer heel too. I mean, this is just plain Strat heel. But yeah, it's a really nice. This neck is not Fendery like at all. Thank fucking God. Not to say there's anything wrong with Fender necks. It's just I never liked them, and so the neck on this guitar, it just happened. So that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's my cool story. But yeah, I was kind of just sitting on this little couch over here, and I was just kind of. I was just kind of enjoying that moment. And as much as I crap on these guitars, or any like traditional shape that like isn't what I consider a core Sully model, doesn't change the fact that they're still pretty good. And this one, one of the things that I like about this is, much like my 16th birthday guitar, I've got stories with this guitar. I've taken it to Chile. I've taken it to France. I would like to take it back to France. But yeah, got a Diamondback sticker. Like one of the things that I was super into when I was a kid was BMX bikes, and I had a Diamondback that I put together from parts, and that was my bike. Got Dolly. Yeah. So anyway, that's my cool story about that. Okay, so 622s I likely regret. Good news, I know it. See, that's right. It's cool, not a deal breaker. Yeah, like the thing with me and Kahlers, I've always, I haven't always viewed them as 80s Bigsby's, but I don't really care for them. I understand they have their fans. I understand that they work as they're supposed to. Visually, they're not my favorite, and yeah, but that's my deal. Just like how some people hate Floyd. Oh, they kill tone. I'm like, whatever. And I say like I'm saying whatever, not to defend Floyd, but just like X kills tone. Anyway, my 622 is definitely a keeper, and that's very nice. Torker 280X. Okay, so let's get back to Verona Tragedy, if that is your real name. And I think it is. Can you explain to me how, in what way, your Raven guitar looks like a Raven? I can't figure out how. It doesn't. Simple as that. The Raven got its name because it is a bird-style guitar. And when I was coming up with the name for it, I wanted it to have some sort of bird-style name. And that's where we landed. That's where we landed. So, yes, thank you for asking. I'm sorry that I don't want you to rack your brain thinking about these things. Maybe it was the beak. Well, so that headstock was designed specifically for that body shape, but I also wanted it to work for others, which it does. But yeah, it is kind of, I don't know that it's necessarily Raven-y, but yeah, that is the Raven headstock, even if it's not on a Raven guitar or bass for that matter. Moi aussi can make Raven noises. We have grackles here. I love grackles. I love them. I love them. I know that they're a scourge here and people view them as rats in the sky, but I love grackles. Yeah. Oh gosh. In the future, just hit me up if you have a question about anything that I do, because while I rack my brain about what I do for months and in many cases for years, you shouldn't have to. Yes, it depends. If it's something that I think complements the overall look of the guitar, we'll do it. There are things that I absolutely won't do. But yes, that's the short answer. What else was I talking about? Yes, I'm very much in like this purging kind of mode. You kind of think about like, okay, if there was a fire, what guitars would you grab? Of course, the correct answer is to get the fuck out of the house. But if you happen to have a whole bunch of guitars on the way out of the house, which ones would you grab? Or which ones would you miss most? There are a bunch of guitars here. And I think that, I don't know if I could get, I think I could get to a handful, maybe. I think. If this one burned, I would be, oh man, that was a good one. But it's had a good life. I think I played my most fun gig with this guitar in Santiago, Chile. There's a video of it you can see from some of it. We played Let's Go Crazy, and oh my God, did it end up in a ditch at the end. But it was funny, and you can't get mad if it's funny. If you go on YouTube and look, I think if you just search Sully and Los Tacos, and I think it was listed as Let's Get Crazy, but Let's Go Crazy, you'll see it. It's like 10 minutes. It's like the slowed down version of Let's Go Crazy, like. And it's got a bunch of solos, and it is a hot, fun ass mess. There's pyro at the end. This guitar went in pyro because I felt that it needed more. More. It just needed more. I love how this thing is all checked all to hell. And some people really hate relics, and that's fine. I love the fact that I have zero qualms about taking the neck off and throwing this in a suitcase and taking it with me somewhere. I have zero qualms about biting it. See? No. Now, is that honest wear? I've got nitro in my mouth. See, now we're a part of one another. That one would be, damn it. That one would be one I would want to grab from a fire. This one is this was given to me by Mr. J. That is a GJ2 Arate prototype. I love prototypes. What I love about them is they're like photographs or like a sketch. It's just kind of where you are at that moment with something. And this was sitting on a rack, unfinished, at Grover's old shop in California for some time. And when I would visit, I would often ask about this guitar. I'm like, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? I do have a thing for white guitars, as I'm looking at the two right there, and then this one, and I just liked it. And one of the things that I think is cool about this one, the heel termination on this is different from how the GJ2 Arate wound up being. It on the production model, it came up. It didn't blend in like this, and follow this line, which I'm glad, because I know there are a lot of neck throughs, especially super strats, that have a neck termination that looks like this, and I want to see a curve. I don't like it's I want to see a curve, and the Arte had a curve and then like a bevel, and it was good. The little leg contour on the 71 Trella I got from this, and I know Grover got this from I think Mike Stevens. Yeah, it's got rosewood peghead overlay. Actually, this is like inset, like it's a pocket that's cut and then it just drops down. One day he just sent it to me, and that was really sweet. So this is one that I would want to. I don't really play it. Then again, I don't really play much anymore anyway. But it does have a lot of sentimental value. I think that was an incredibly kind thing to do. Yeah. So there's that. What else? Please don't do that. Don't worry about this stuff for that long. Just hit me up. What was I going to talk about? There are some actual things coming up. So if you're on the mailing list, and you all should be, if you're not, just go to sullyguitars.com. There's a little banner up at the top where it says, join the Sully Guitars mailing list and be somebody. Be somebody. I don't spam you, at least I don't think I do. So yeah, stuff's coming very soon, like next week. I think so. I have a very loose concept of time. So yeah, we have a class starting next week. I have another one 2 weeks from now. So this is a very busy month. And there are NAMM things that I need to get the woodwork finished so they can be painted and finished. Last year, I did a really nice job, I think, with having our stuff done well in advance, which was great. Didn't do that this year. I wasn't able to get my shit together. Yeah, I wasn't. So we're getting stuff moved through right now. There's a part of me that wants to kind of like share what we're bringing, but like I'm only bringing like I think 4 or maybe 5 guitars to the boutique guitar showcase. So I think you can kind of guess what will and what won't be there, or at least certain models that will or won't. Although I will say one of what I consider one of the Sully core models won't be there just because of the limited table space. Why don't you get a bigger table? Why don't I? And I couldn't really, I'm like, well, okay, it's a core model. What am I going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I can't really think of anything. That happens a lot. I don't necessarily have a ton of ideas all the time. Cool story, but yes, I will. Again, we'll be at the Boutique Guitar Showcase. This will be my second time at that space. Sometimes I would like to have the luxury of, having my own 10x10 space like I used to. But like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. That's what I'm saying. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. And I think NAMM in general is kind of like that. So it is a lot of money. It is a lot of time. It's a lot of mental energy. And so I want to try and make it as easy as I can. And the Boutique Guitar Showcase is a nice way of doing that. So yeah, so like last year, I'm trying for 5. There are some, there are 2 guitars in particular I think will be really, well, I mean, I think they'll all be really cool. Last year, I brought 5 guitars that I thought was a nice variety of what we do. There was pointy stuff. There was stuff with nice tops and finishes. There was stuff that was aged, and you know, a nice representation. I remember, and I've shared this story before. After the show was over, I was having kind of like a meeting recap with the host of the Boutique Guitar Showcase, and it was like, what did you think went well? What did you, a recap, if you will. And I kind of laughed, and I'm like, for a guy that's got, make it fucking sparkle as part of his whole, advertising of all, I didn't have any sparkle finishes. And he's like, yeah, that's a really good point. And I understand why you did the way you did, and it was successful, and blah, blah, blah. But like, maybe something to consider. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be all sparkle. But I will say that one of the things, okay, we're just about out of, well, we're not just about out of time, we're winding down. But one of the things that people say about maybe where I'm coming from is, oh, it's so 80s. Not always in a derogatory fashion. I don't necessarily agree with that. Although I get it. But what I like to think is, a lot of the designs, and I don't just mean like neon finishes or, graphics or things like that. A lot of the designs in general was trying to do something different. It was an innovative time, and we saw what stood the test of time, what happened. But one of the things that I liked is, a lot of those guitar designs were just pretty extra, and you kind of had the permission to like be a little extra. And I want someone, it's the best way I can make this point. 24 or so years ago, I was in a Kiss tribute band, and it always cracked me up as soon as I was all suited up and I saw myself in the mirror. And I would always laugh, because at that little moment, I wasn't laughing because I looked ridiculous. I was laughing because I would think back. I felt like that kid who was 7 or 8 or 9 sitting in front of the bathroom mirror with makeup going like this. And, you kind of see myself in the mirror. I'm like, oh, I'm like a superhero. And that was like one of the things that, appealed to me. I'm not alone in that. But like, you had like your stuff on, and you were like, you could be a little extra. And I want, this, which is being washed out, but like, this is a wonderful color. And this color combo is really washed out right now in the camera, but this is basically Sonic Blue, white, chrome, rosewood. Actually, no, sorry. This is Castor Ebony. This is a color palette that I find very, very, very pleasing. Of course, this was not one of the big sellers. So another example of me trying to figure out what people will buy. And so I want my guitars to kind of allow you to give you that same sort of kind of feel, to where you put the thing on and it's like, you know, you got your going out jeans on. And, while we do make these things, I tried to make them a little different, but like, if any of our artists are playing their stuff at a gig or whatever, I want one of the things that I don't want, and this maybe like somebody asked, like, well, why do you just shit on Strats and Tellys and all that stuff so much? And it's like, it's not that I don't. Well, I don't like Tellys, but we have such a short time here, and if I'm going to dedicate my entire fucking life to this, in various forms, when my time is done, I want there to be some sort of evidence that, hey, I was here. And I know we all probably have similar feelings. And when I see a live shot of somebody playing one of my guitars, certain models more than others, you see that picture, and if you were, I imagine, people having a conversation like, oh, what was the guitar player playing? And if you don't know what it is, you'd be like, oh, I don't know, it's something a little different I hadn't seen before. I don't want to have, I was playing a Fender or something like that. A really cool Fender or a Flying V. Oh, that makes me want to shoot my eyes out. So yeah, it is so difficult. People talk about, oh, there's no new designs and there's no new anything, and it's because you, the buying people, won't allow it. And there are a lot of times when people will like when we've displayed, like at the Dallas Guitar Show, we had a lot of customs there, and it was all stuff that was very eye-catching, stuff that people were very complimentary about, which is really great. But I think a lot of it is, I would hear a lot of, and I've ranted about this before, of like, oh man, my wife will kill me. Stop with that. Or just like, man, that's really cool. But I'm going to go buy this Telly. I really like this. This thing plays amazing. But I'm going to go and buy this Telly. Because, for whatever reason. So like, when I was talking earlier about how I couldn't be happier about finishing these two 92s, and never making another one. And, we make these, we used to do these, we do them in batches. But like, I think there's a part of me, I think, that I've kind of fished out that pond, because like when we used to, when I kind of like announce a new batch, there's only 5 guitars in a batch, we would sell them out in a weekend, and we don't anymore. So I think like, there's a part of me that's like, well, there's a bunch of factors, but sometimes I wonder, like, did I fish out my Strat pool? I don't know. I may have. Yeah. Pointy stuff never disappoints. Good morning to you. See you soon. My conspiracy series Raven has that exact color palette, and I personally love it. Yes. So, did a Raven in that light blue, white pickups, chrome hardware. I love that combination. I find it very satisfying. And to go a little further, the inspiration behind that palette was a Tiffany jewel box. I know it's not Tiffany blue, which is fine. I prefer Sonic blue. but like the white, it's like, the white text, and like the chrome hardware kind of relates to like the jewelry inside the box. Well, why not gold? Because I don't like gold as much. Anyway, I don't really like gold, but that's okay. Yeah, I do find that color palette very, very, very satisfying. And unfortunately, it was one that like people, I don't know, didn't work for them, but that's okay. I'll keep trying. There's always tomorrow until there isn't. That's my new response for people say, one of these days I'm going to get one of your guitars. I know one of these days I'm going to be dead. So, see. Yes, one of these days I'll be dead, and these things will be worth tens of dollars. So, yeah. We're going to run out of time in a few minutes, but yeah, this has just been a very pensive morning for me. I think the numerous cups of coffee I've had have kicked in. I can feel that I'm super caffeinated, which is, it's fine. Yeah, I am in this, like, I really want to rearrange this room. I really want to rearrange a lot of things. I really want to, like, get rid of, like, almost everything. But I guess there's a way to do that. People get rid of their stuff all the time. I'm not saying like I want like this minimalistic life, although like, I don't know, that might be okay. But I'm a pack rat, but I am definitely an accumulator of things, which I think a lot of us are, varying extenses. Anybody have a question? I'm just babbling now. I've been babbling the whole time, but see, this is an example of marrying well. Now, Chris is coming to do this build class, and one of the things in like with the build classes is like, you want to design your own guitar, you can. And we're going to use the robot, we're going to use our hands, we're going to use our eyes and ears and little fingertips. But yeah. Be with someone that encourages you in all senses of the word. Yeah. What else? What am I going to do today? Oh, you guys, I really don't want to go anywhere. I really don't want to go anywhere. No, I do not. But then, like last weekend, I didn't really do much. And like, oh my God, I was really, really antsy. I was so antsy. Why don't you go get your roots done? I would like to. Yeah. So I have to feel like I'm being useful to somebody. So I'm going to do what I can to be that. And I hope that you will too. So we're winding down. Good day to you. All 52 Queensryches. Yes, everyone have a cool weekend. You look great. I hope that everybody's nice to you, and I hope you have a nice day, and I hope that you're nice to everybody, because it's really fucking nice to be nice. So be nice. It's nice.